Show. What's in your cup?
A whole lot of everything with my fine ass up in this snee-eye itch. You hear me? It's the Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. I go by the name of Fonz. Yes, I do. And she is...
Organic blackberry. Tastes like it sounds, sound like it tastes. And she is.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Tiana Giovanna. And he is.
DJ Swivel. Anything less would be unswivelized.
You goddamn right. All right. Listen, it's officially summer. It's been summer, but now you can feel it that it's summer. And this ain't the kind of summer that Childish Gambino was singing about. This is death summer. Okay? It's hot.
Multiple showers
I don't like
a day.
Man, what? All cold water.
And we back outside too.
Conditioning. Electric bill high, up. Man, and it's, yeah, man. Like, and that's an understatement. Because, you know what I mean? Like, granted, we just had that American, observed holiday for independence, the 15 days after Juneteenth and, celebration. And when I tell you everybody and their mama and grandmama was out, it was ridiculous, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm excited to be in the house, though. Like, I'm going to work, going home. I'm not going nowhere because I don't want to be around nobody.
I will
say,
I feel like it's an excuse for people to, like, drag out their fireworks. Like,
bro,
I definitely feel like that's a new trend.
Oh yeah, it's still going near our neighborhood. Like, just last night even. It's like, come on, man. Like, how many of these things do you really got? Like, really? Come on, bro.
Speaking of which, we definitely need to reallocate a lot of the funds from the LAPD after that mess of a detonation that they did on that residential street after they confiscated 3,000, I think it was reported 3,000 to 5,000 pounds of illegal explosive fireworks that they put in one of their little armored trucks. And that armored truck could not stand whatever was in it.
What happened?
They confiscated all of these fireworks, put it inside of like a bomb, proof container, and then did like a planned detonation. But the container couldn't hold the explosion. And it ended up blowing out windows for like, I think up to like 3 blocks it was felt. Like it literally shattered, blew out windows. It injured, I want to say up to like 7 or 8 people.
Yeah.
6 of them being like officers.
Coming in hot.
And they did it on the street. Like they did it in the neighborhood that they confiscated it from. Yeah.
Wow.
In South Central.
Yeah. I feel like there's protocol. There has to be protocol where anything that you take and you gotta do that shit on your fucking land.
Something.
Like, what are you doing? Like, go take that shit on your jurisdiction, my nigga. Like, what are you
Take
talking
it to
about?
the desert.
You just said this was illegal.
Yeah.
Why you gonna blow it up on the block? He said it's not supposed to be on the block.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of malarkey that's happening out here in these streets. I could tell you that much.
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, so yeah, I'm in the house. I'm sick of hearing all the fireworks. I don't know how much. Well, clearly we know where everybody's PPP loan went and what their stimulus got spent on. Crab legs, fireworks,
and jewelry. Cause I was in the jury district for a client, and when I tell you, it was so many people, like they was younger than me. I'm like, wait a minute. Flooded the jewelry stores. I'm like, but I'm talking about in the jury district, like getting the real gold weighed out, like all that. I'm like, I know
you see.
I know.
Just to get a snatch, because we definitely, now that everybody outside, I've been seeing chains get snatched and people beat up.
Just
and
to get it snatched.
It's not safe
Just
out
to
here.
get it snatched. Just
to get it snatched up. Like it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
Which then like leads me to this evolution that we went on, right? Because exactly a year ago, right, from this time, our show revolved around Black empowerment, circulating the Black dollar, fighting, you know, criminal injustice and all of that. And then here we are now out of the quarantine and violence is ensuing. You know what I'm saying? And ignorant shit keeps happening. It's just like, what did we learn over this last year? Like, how did y'all go that stir crazy?
Apparently, we didn't learn that opening up the economy and all that is not going to result in more COVID transmission, because we clearly see across the country that we're starting, you know, things are starting to spike yet again. So, you know, here we go yet again.
Yeah. Here we go.
Like, come on, man.
Rest in peace, DMX. Here we go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and then now we have this new variant, the Delta variant, that apparently is running rampant. And it's like, well, first, it's so crazy is that it's apparently shutting down the Olympics. Am I saying that correctly? Is it the Delta variant, or is this something totally different? Because I'm confused at this point.
It's a little bit of both, just for whatever reason. A little bit of both. So for whatever reason, you know, Tokyo, I guess, just either they reopened things too soon and thought like they had COVID under control, and now they're just, you know, having another spike, or, you know, I'm sure it's also some of the Delta variant being spread around as well. But yeah, I mean, about 2 weeks ago they were saying, well, we're gonna reduce the amount of fans that can show up and watch, and like the way they'll do tickets is like through some kind of lottery. And then just a few days ago they're like, you know what, we're gonna cut out all fans altogether. Like, it's just gonna be empty in the seats, which to me is the dumbest thing, because you postpone the Olympics a year, right? Yeah. Just so that you can have fans and have things open, so you can generate all that revenue, which I think on average is like over $50 billion that is generated. But if you don't have spectators, you don't have money.
Yeah.
Like,
well, but it hadn't been an issue in Japan. Like, COVID never really like hit the numbers in Japan that it hit in other countries.
Yeah.
So they postponed it just to be extra safe. But then like they opened everything back up right before. It's like, why don't you wait? Maybe just wait on opening everything up, continue to, you know, not necessarily quarantine, but continue to do whatever you were doing that kept you good.
Yeah.
And then after the Olympics, then kind of reassess and see what you need to do. But yeah, we ain't learned. Well, they ain't learned. I'm still at home.
Now they're gonna miss out on a hefty chunk of change. You know, which
more than that, because they spent like a couple $2 billion just getting ready for the Olympics, because they figured they would recoup all of that money in tourism and taxes and stuff. And now they gets nothing.
No support.
Now they assed out.
Yeah.
That's cold-blooded.
Mm-hmm.
That's cold-blooded.
You talk about ass.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I get it. Man, real talk. This is like Prince with the assless chaps style of assed out. Like, it's a whole new level of being assed out. And my thing is, it's like, I get it, because it's economics, right? Like, you want to generate this money to keep things going. Otherwise, it's a liability, because now you got to keep on forking out stimulus packages and all of that. So you need to generate something, but then it's like, why not be safe about it? Like, why rush it? What's the purpose of rushing?
Yeah.
Why not come up with the proper protocol? And I'm speaking from ignorance. Like, I don't want to just make it seem like I got the answer and that it is that easy. But I think because of this last year, us having a lack of the proper intelligence and information on what exactly is happening and how to contain it and what to do, It's like, what are the answers? What can we do? Like, y'all didn't see this coming?
Yeah.
Y'all didn't see, I mean, somebody had to have seen that it was morphing.
Well, I mean,
they knew.
All this money and y'all still stupid.
Their biggest thing should have been, like, do we even allow tourists to come from other countries and potentially bring, COVID or any variant of it into Japan? Like, especially if they kept their numbers in Japan down, like that would have been the biggest concern. And, I would, if I was on that Olympic committee, I'd be like, look, I know this is a global event and you want to have tourists come from all over to support their athletes from their countries, but with COVID, like, we're just gonna keep it like 80% Japanese spectators this go around. Like, sorry, y'all keep your diseases elsewhere, and we'll welcome you back, some other time.
Man, that part.
Like, people, it's crazy to me that they, like, here, obviously in California, how they like opened everything up, and I swear people have lost their damn minds. They act like being quarantined or social distancing was like we put them in a cage. I went to the gym the other day. Well, day before yesterday, and I was one of 3 people in that place with a mask on, and I'm like, I'm not ready. I am not ready for that yet. And I kept mine on during the whole time, except I went into like the big, like one of the big rooms, and it was like me and like one other person, and we were like on the opposite sides of the room. So I took my mask off there. But like, I'm running and dying on the elliptical machine because I got my mask on and I can't freaking breathe. But I'm like, damn it, my lungs are getting a workout too. Cause
no Rona.
I don't trust these folks.
Yeah.
Well, cause that's the thing, like, you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole vaccination thing is weird to me anyway, because you can still you can still get sick and you can still pass it when you're vaccinated.
Right.
When you wear masks,
which then makes me wonder.
Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go. I'm mute.
No.
You go.
I was just gonna say it's weird to me because they say if you're not vaccinated, wear a mask. But in the very beginning of this, they said wearing a mask is not so much about protecting yourself, it's about protecting others. Vaccinated people can still pass the virus to other people. So if wearing a mask is about protecting other people, why are vaccinated people not required to wear a mask? That seems backwards to me.
Because they're counting on
man,
the majority of this
country all about real estate
to follow the bouncing ball.
This shit is all about real estate. You see how many Targets popped up in the hood, man?
Oh yeah.
Fuck that. This shit is all about real estate. Fuck that.
That's real. That's real. And I mean, and clearly we're starting to see the propaganda, speaking of, and I'm so mad that they ruined a legendary anthem for Black people. Speaking of Juvenile, back that thing up, back that ass
Oh
up.
my God.
But to switch it, to vax that thing up, and then have the nerve for him to say, brother, you look good. Won't you vax that? Like, bro, what are we talking about? What are we doing here?
What are you talking
what
about?
What are we
right
doing?
now?
This is
what are they talking about?
When you hear those strings, we know what's about to happen.
Oh yeah.
As soon as bum, we know that Cash Money is getting ready to take over for the 99 and the 2000, and it's seal time. It's separation come together. It's unity of the cakes. Ain't no vaccination about clapping of the cakes.
That shit is out.
I want to see some ass jiggling, some titties wiggling.
That shit is out. That shit is out.
Ain't no
that shit is out. They fucking really changed the words. Like the actual, this ain't no parody. This ain't no somebody else that saw it and did it. The actual people who made this shit for the culture switched it to that. And then they got these people swiping. Like, what are they doing? Are they on Tinder because they're vaccinated? So when we're vaccinated, we then get on Tinder. Like, I don't get it. What are they?
I guess it's like a dating site. So it's like an advertisement for like a dating site saying, be clean and be vaccinated to go hook up on this sneaky link or to date somebody and to all of that. Like, girl, you fine, get vaccinated.
Nah.
Brother, you a good looking dude, get vaccinated. So then y'all can essentially.
So then what? Because now all other STDs don't exist now. So because all you got to do is get vaccinated, and then you're.
That's where the listen.
It's
listen,
like,
ladies and gentlemen.
It's like being
I know that we make it
all STDs and everything else. Like,
it just kills everything in your body, all of it. So,
and apparently it makes you look good because you fine.
On a side, what's messed up? I'm feeling vegetable. What's messed up about this? So my best friend's cousin works in the maternity ward in a hospital up in Fresno, and they were talking and said that the number of women who are losing their babies and like late in pregnancy as well, like the number of women who are losing their babies is alarming amongst those women who got vaccinated. Like, it is a marked and frightening contrast to pre-pandemic numbers. And so my best friend was like, are you reporting this? Like, who are you telling? And she's like, yeah, you know, we have reports, but we don't control who takes it where. And it's like,
and this is Black women?
Huh? This is just women in general. This is
Black women?
Pregnant women.
Women in general.
Who are vaccinated during pregnancy, are like a friend of a friend who, or my friend's cousin who works in a maternity ward and helps deliver babies, is seeing a huge uptick in the number of babies that are dying, like in the womb.
Miscarriages.
Well, miscarriages, yeah. But I mean, but even late term, like stillbirths, late term.
Yeah.
Like, she was like,
and you know, it's crazy because knowing that information is out, it's been out since they started, people's faces was dropping, all that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that information is out, yet they're now gonna go door to door and try to be like, hey, take this for real. Are you sure? Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because now we have 50% of the population in America vaccinated, which is insane. So we're going to try to shoot for 80%. So we're going to bring it to you. And we're going to do everything we can. Hey, kids, get some free ice cream by coming to get. It's like, bro, y'all going to new levels for some bullshit.
New levels.
In my opinion.
I mean, you know, I think honestly, it's to the point where I think that it's hit. I'm sorry, Swivel. I think that it's hitting everybody. Because at first I was feeling some type of way because of the way they came at the Black community with it. You know, you get free chicken, free it, like those, you know. But then I'm thinking they really hitting every community with it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your little thing is, come get your tortas. You know, you get your, like, for real, like whoever.
Come get your potato salad with raisins.
Come on, hey,
listen.
We'll give you and your bikes with the training wheels, all that. Like, it's coming for whoever.
That's crazy.
And that shit.
What was you gonna say, Swim?
Yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let it out. Let it out.
No, I was gonna say the what was it, like $15 million that California was raffling off to people that got vaccinated, or just in Los Angeles, not even California as a whole. I just find it interesting that, like, it seems like, you know, when Brandy's talking about the Black community being targeted, it seems like, you know, that's really like the hardest demographic that they're actually going after, you know, with songs like freaking Flippin' Juvenile's record and whatnot. Like, I don't see that kind of effort going towards, you know, Asian and Latino communities, but you know.
Well, right. The thing is that
our culture, and I hate to say this, like, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think we're really a big holdout. And because they were showing like all of these like hotspot areas, and it's like Texas, Georgia, Louisiana, Florida, like those like Republican strongholds are apparently like the biggest holdouts. So, I mean, and that's, you know, that's white folks predominantly. But I'm not seeing, like, I'm interested to know, and I'll have to ask my sister because she lives in Georgia, like what kind of propaganda are they seeing that's targeted to them specifically? She's white. Like, what are you seeing that's advertised specifically to you and your demographic in like where you live? Because I like Swivel, I haven't noticed any other specifics.
I can tell you that the imagery is on certain signs because I'm in Georgia right now. Like I've never seen it in LA where it's like it'll have like an ill person and then someone who gets a vaccine and like they have the vaccine picture and then they're like better now. But like the person who got the vaccine is different than the person who was ill. And of course, the person who got the vaccine is like fit, you know what I'm saying, in shape, you know, groomed well.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm seeing. I'm in the commercials out here. I'm just seeing like a lot of family like do this to save your family, save lives. Like it's real. I don't know. I feel like in Inglewood, at least where I lived, it was more so like in order to get turned up, in order for it to turn up to progress and be what it's gonna be, get your vaccine so we don't have no issues and shit. So now it's like out here, it's like to have a better family, be vaccinated, take grandma, take uncle, take everybody.
I wish they would have put forth that same effort towards diabetes and high blood pressure, motherfuckers.
You know, I feel like they did the vaccine song first, like that, because you know, we can go in there and be like, yeah, they're hitting the black folk, but eventually, probably in a few years, like, you know, eventually it's gonna hit every community where they're gonna have these silly little songs that have that. But they start with the black community, all disrespect, respectfully. We run the world, our culture does. So that's why they're targeting it, and they target us so hard, like for every little thing. And that's what you saw about the Haitian president, you know what I'm saying, getting us, like, he's been on that shit. Like, we as people are good, but they keep trying to tell us and force us and all that. And it's like, they keep trying to silence those who say that, I think.
I agree. I agree.
That was the first thing I said to Tiana, like, I think the day after he was assassinated, I'm like, well, let's see where the money trail leads us, because I'm sure they were trying to force, you know, something onto Haiti.
And I saw,
it's crazy too.
Yeah, I saw a clip on a profile that I follow on Instagram that pointed out that exactly. And they started pointing out all the details of going even back into history with the Haitian Revolution and how they ended up fighting off everybody that came over to try to oppress them, how they were the first country to become independent and really, you know, they won their rebellions when when oppressors were first coming over, whether it was British, Spanish, French, all of that. Then what ended up happening is then they started sending full brigades. They ended up taking over the French. Then they fought off the French, beat their ass, and then got sued and had to pay reparations back to France for all the money that they claimed that they lost because of the abolition, right? To then turn around and do this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be on some, Haiti has always been free. And so the clip was not only pointing that out, but then showed clips of the Biden administration stating how, we're gonna, you know, we're making strong efforts to get the vaccine over to Haiti that doesn't have any vaccination presence, right? And you look at clips from Haiti and they're like, bro, we don't
want it.
We don't, not just that they don't want it, but it's like they don't need it. Even efforts, you know, to expand it, even across the African diaspora, when you look at certain countries in Africa, they were fighting it because they were like, we don't have outbreaks. We don't have these problems. We've never had any type of major problems, so we don't need it. You keep coming over here, and then we see the outcome be that our people actually get sick with sicknesses that we've never had before. that never existed here because we don't have y'all dirty asses coming over here doing things. Like we didn't have it.
Real shit.
All of a sudden we get a vaccine and now we get diagnosed with hepatitis and all this weird random shit that we didn't have.
Well, and not only that, like going back to like the coverage and stuff, like I know that there has been heavy focus on like India, Europe, Brazil, and stuff like that about like all of these people dying or new variants coming from those places and stuff. But I have not heard like one drop of information about how Haiti has been so plagued by the coronavirus or so many deaths. You know what I mean? There's been no coverage.
Right.
So for them to be like, yeah, we're getting vaccines over to Haiti, it's like,
okay, I'm sure there's I'm sure there's other places in the world that need vaccination more than.
But whatever happened to people asking for shit? Like, ain't nobody asked, like.
But I feel, and I feel what you're saying, but I feel like this is where you go down the rabbit hole, right? And I encourage everyone listening and watching right now, please do your research, because I know that this comes off as just regular conversation, but there is validity to a lot of these points, right? I don't have sources off the top of my mind because I remember seeing this stuff growing up on the news, them reporting it, right? But based on schooling and watching news growing up, I've noticed that America has always inserted itself into foreign issues that it didn't have any business, that nobody asked them for. It was like, we're just going to assert ourselves, whether it be Cuba, we saw what happened in Libya. You know, I was very interested as to what caused all of the conflict with North Korea, right? You see the conflict with Russia, with any conflict that America has been a part of. It's like, who asked for your help? Yeah. Why are you trying to insert this world peace and democracy in some of these foreign nations and countries that really don't need it? And then your excuse is, oh, well, their dictator is poisonous to their people. He's killing these people, blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, ironically, we have the same symptoms happening over here. Yeah. Why are we putting efforts towards, we can't see this? We can't see what's happening over here? And this is beyond police brutality.
Oh,
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, what's funny is that's China's stance against us right now, with like all of the like genocide with the Uyghurs and what's happening with their Muslim population, and essentially their concentration camps and stuff like that that's going on. China, in several UN meetings, has said to us, like, how dare you point a finger at us when you can't even keep your own nose clean? Like, and they have specifically pointed to Black Lives Matter, specifically pointed to police brutality against Black people. Like, it's a whole other country that knows all about what's happening and is like, keep your nose in, well, how about you water your own grass before you come over here trying to cut our weeds?
Putin said the exact same thing the week before he met Biden, which was like 2-3 weeks ago. He's like, y'all got your own issues to figure out before you need to worry about if Russia is tampering with your, another election coming up or whatever. It's like, stop worrying about me and what's happening over here. Like,
and not only that, let's not talk about the fact that America literally has a military base in every single country in the world. Like,
and for what?
Yeah, exactly.
For what? What are we doing? What are we setting up for?
Like,
it's a game of chess.
Democracy. Okay.
We know for what.
Okay.
We know.
No, we know why. And it's funny that you say that, because I can only imagine Putin. Imagine Putin being Black and having that conversation like nigga, I ain't did shit. man, if you don't mind your business, nigga, you need to go clean your dishes in your sink before you try to come over here worrying about the fuck I'm doing. Wash your hands first. Take your shoes off before you come over to my house.
Hey, that's your cup. Hey, keep that cup. That's your cup.
Oh, you had your lips on this cup? Oh, okay.
That's your cup. You can have that, bro. You can have that cup.
Take that with you on your way out. Yeah, I don't want that. That's your responsibility.
Because I ain't got nothing to do with that.
I ain't got nothing to do with it. I mean, and it speaks to a larger narrative of the corruption that exists within America. Like, it's like, y'all mask it behind this whole world peace, but it's, what are we really doing? What's really happening? You know what I mean? Like, these are the questions. What's the whole purpose? What's the end game? What's the agenda behind a lot of this shit? What is it? That's the $1 million question. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have all the answers, but we have these conversations to spark your imagination, to hopefully, clearly it's to be provocative and to incite the conversation, right? But
it's intergalactic domination. That's what this shit is for. Why do artists fucking contracts say fucking in perpetuity the universe? Why the fuck is the universe in question?
That's because if you want to go perform on Mars, on the moon, you still owe us royalties. That's what that is.
Well, how do you know that this shit is possible, cuz?
Oh, they know.
You know something. You know something.
Well, that's why what's his name, Brant or whatever, went to space.
Branson
went to space.
Richard Branson.
And Bezos is on his way in a few days. Like,
yeah,
they're
tying up contracts on Mars.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah.
Bezos got enough money to freaking end world hunger and still have money left over for like his next of kin for several generations, and but he's still got to be up in space before.
But the nigga going to space.
Yeah, like, man, snitch.
My nigga's going to space.
You know what? I'll be honest though. If I had almost $1 trillion, I would probably go start my own civilization on another planet. Like, because this shit is for the birds. Like, bye.
I feel like that's how it got to the birds. It's because too many of us got on that. This shit is for the birds. That's how it got there. Somebody, if it was, I keep telling everybody, if it was a Malcolm X, a Tupac, a Nip, a fucking Martin Luther King, fucking Fred Hampton, that's only 5 niggas. That shit would be a wrap for the whole anybody, like, you feel me? And it's only 5 people. So it's like one person, all that fucking money, you talking about you want to live your life. It's like, I feel you, but it's a whole trash island and no country wants to fucking be like, guys, let's just put some money in. Like, it's a whole trash island. Nobody want to put no money in. But it's like, yo, it's crazy.
It's wild.
It's just crazy.
It's absolutely wild.
Well,
this is the Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What was you going to say? I feel like
I was about to transition, but I mean, because I was going to be like, speaking of going to space and getting high, Miss Sha'Carri Richardson, she got high issues.
Which is a whole nother bag of some bullshit.
Yeah. What Stephen A. say? Stay off the weed.
What happened? She smoked? She not allowed to smoke?
She failed a drug test and tested positive for THC. So she got disqualified from participating in the Olympics. And then apparently there were reports that they settled for a suspension. But then when the official list of names came out for the relay, she was left off of it. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the naysayers, the public, has been bringing up the fact that Michael Phelps, was smoking weed when he was participating, and clearly we have.
That's
not how that worked.
He got caught, but I thought he got caught after the fact.
It's not how it works, right? But then here's the kicker. Well, go ahead, Swift. What was you gonna say?
Well, so to anyone that's like, well, Michael Phelps, was caught on video smoking weed. Yeah, but he was smoking weed after the Olympics was already done. So like, you can't compare the two. They're two completely different situations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was after the fact.
And the problem is with Sha'Carri's situation is it's stupid that she got left off the relay team because why? Like, USA announced a 30-day suspension, which eliminated her from being able to participate in the 100 meters, but she still could have participated in the relay. And America's fastest sprinter. Why would you not want her on the relay team? Because America's penalty was just that. Like, she didn't violate anything else that would have eliminated her from being on the relay team. She could have very well ran, but for whatever reason, they decided to leave her off the team. But for those, and I'll say this real quick, for those who are like, because there's like a whole petition to get Sha'Carri to run and all that. I think it's like they need like 600,000 signatures, and last time I checked, they're like 580,000, give or take. It's not going to happen. Like, even if you get the 600,000 signatures, it's not going to happen, because the problem is you have the World Anti-Doping Agency. They're the ones that set the rules. The United States Track and Field Association, they just enforce whatever the
rules are
set. So you could get 6 billion signatures.
So it's the coach who left her off? Is it the coach who left her off? Like, who are we petitioning?
Well, they're petitioning USA Track and Field to get her to run. But
they're not the ones that are in control.
At the end of the day,
they're not the ones that's
that decision. So, you know, sure, like, it's a valiant effort to try to like show support for somebody, because, you know, weed is not a performing enhancing drug, and it's stupid that this rule
for real
even exists.
And it's legal in certain places. Like, it's great.
Well, it's like 36 states, I think, in the U.S. It's legal, and the state she was in when she was smoking weed is a legal weed smoking state. Yeah. So like, you can make the argument.
So how is she even penalized? How are they even penalizing her?
Because
the rules of the Olympics.
It's the world.
Because she's an athlete.
Yeah.
Because she's in the Olympics, and on top of that, it's still not federally legal. So a state, you know, it being legal by the state is cool, but then it's an issue federally. Like, it's still, so there's a whole nother set of rules that apply. You know what I'm saying?
But
okay. So if they said that she was
no, go ahead. You had a question. Go ahead, B.
If they said that she was disqualified for one, and then she was left off the other, is the petition to get her on that one? Like, isn't she able to run the relay? You said she wasn't disqualified from that. So is the petition to try to get her on that?
I mean, they may kind of take the petition and try to apply it to the relay portion. But originally, like, the whole petition was to try to get her to run the 100 meters again, because that's what majority of fans.
She was disqualified.
Yeah, but, you know, like, the majority of fans see her and the Jamaican sprinter run against each other, because they're both like two of the fastest women on the planet, and
super fast.
In like 20 something years, or actually 30 something years. Like, so it would have been an epic showdown at the Olympics that's now being denied to the fans because they're of this rule. But yeah, I mean, so they may try to push to get her back on the relay, but we'll see.
No, I'm gonna take the unpopular opinion, and my whole thing is, you knew what the rules were. Like, on the one end, I understand you needing to cope with your mother's death. I understand, like, the human experience of needing to let off steam, or just cope in general. Because losing your mom, like, anyone who's lost a parent understands that shit is hard, especially when it's like your mother. I think more so, even, because that's usually the nurturer. That I completely understand. At the same time, you're put in this predicament where you're going to have to you're going to have to drug test. You know what the rules of your sport are. You know what's coming up. You just have to refrain for a certain period of time to get, just to get to where you are really trying to go, right? Like, so my thing is, you made a small mistake, but that small mistake that you knew better is now effed up your dreams.
How old is she?
She's 21.
20.
So she'll be back. She'll
be 22.
She's young as shit. Like, that's a lot of shit to put on somebody. You talk about my mama, like, it's like the fuck Olympic, like, what I'm saying? I'm trying to go to sleep tonight and stop crying. So
I will say this situation will get the marijuana rule changed. Like, it's because of this and how high caliber of an athlete she is, like as far as the anti-doping agency, whatever rules and regulations are concerned, like that rule will get changed probably within a year or so.
And that was the other side of what I was gonna say, is on the flip side of it, the rule about weed is stupid. Like she was within her, like she was within the law, she was within her rights in her state to be able to smoke. It's not a performance enhancing drug. So just the fact that it's something that's even on the list of banned substances, I think is stupid. And I think that rule should be changed. So I mean, yeah, I think stupid rule, but also like, you know, just bad decision on her part, unfortunately. But it's
how is weed
like we judge? I feel like we're just judged so hard. But keep going.
No, I agree.
We are. But how is weed against the rules? Which I know the answer to it, but that's against the rules. But then a man that identifies as a woman that's taking estrogen to fight against women and beating their ass is okay and a part of the rules.
Yeah. Not only fight, but there's another one. There's another transgender, cross-gender, whatever, power lifter. So it's a man lifting in female division, same thing. Like, and he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's done international world championships or Olympic competition as a male lifter, and now he's doing it as a female. Like, and it doesn't matter. Like, you taking estrogen, whatever, for a year and some change to drop your testosterone levels, but still, like, you already have a base level that's way
right.
So
I don't think that.
And I may be mixing it up. Because I know we talked about this years ago on the show about a guy that was wrestling. So but still, the concept still applies. It's like, I get it. Like, we're moving into this age of people identifying as what they want to identify by. But I think the really what I'm trying to argue is let's keep the same energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something as simple as weed. Like, if you're going to allow somebody to identify what they want to identify as, and that clearly is an advantage. Otherwise, why not integrate all sports? Why not have women get dunked on by LeBron James and Westbrook? You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what we're doing, then let's do that, right? And I mean, clearly, I'm being funny, but to drive my point, it's let's keep the same energy. Weed isn't going to make you run faster. It isn't going to make you jump higher, swim faster, any of that. Right? So what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
And I think
what are we doing?
What's hard about that is, I'm of the mind that, I believe that if you are transgender, you should be allowed to compete in sports and be in music and do, whatever you would want to do.
Music and sports are different to me.
No, I know. But I'm saying, my point is, I do believe that if you are transgendered, you should be able to live the life that you want to live, period. But at the same time, I don't know what the solution is for the sports thing, because it does put others, if you're transgendering or if you're transitioning from male to female, but you're playing female sports against women who, don't have the testosterone advantage or don't have the muscle advantage that you have, then that's not fair to everyone else either. So, like, what's the right choice?
Man, we set up some new sports for them. They got all type, man. My uncle into the whole Special Olympics and they got a whole community.
Exactly.
That's true.
And that's where you just create this whole other division of
but my thing is, I feel
and they compete against each other. Like, you have guys who transition to female, and they only compete against other guys that have made that switch.
Yeah.
And
vice versa.
That's leveling the playing field.
Yeah, because at the same time, like, I don't hear about a lot of women who are transitioning to men and then being like these giant sports figures, right? Like that doesn't work both ways. So I don't think that
that's
there's that.
That's called science.
Exactly. They could be trying to transition because they want to be a part and they don't want to be in a different league and this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, it is. And it's like, you need to come to grips with that. It's no disrespect. I'm not phobic of nothing. You feel me? It's just like, it's just not easy.
It's not consistent. And that's my biggest thing. It's not consistent with the narrative.
Yeah.
Right? If it's like, hey, we're going to do this, it's like, well, okay, at what point, where do we stop? Where do we draw the line? Because at what point does the next, does, hypothetically speaking, the next Mike Tyson say, you know what, I identify as a woman now, and I'm going to go compete in Olympic boxing, and then I'm out here
just
passing out concussions.
Yeah.
Straight up. Just because that country don't even, like, the women aren't even like built like that, so it's a whole different frame and all that. So it's
I'm saying, like we gotta, I just feel as though that there's, when it comes to a lot of this, I mean, I want to be fair, and I try to listen to, debates and arguments that are made on both sides. And the issue that I keep coming across is the inconsistencies, and it always draws down to, is there another agenda? You know what I mean? And it's like, I want to understand, but it's just difficult because it seems like there's a double standard. It's always a double standard. And again, Tiana just said it. I don't know the resolve. I don't know the resolution. Don't know the answers. But it's like something's got to give.
And let's keep in mind.
So I could play.
Participate in sports has not gone back that long. Like we've only even been able to participate in sports for so many years in America.
Yeah.
And then, professional sports on top of that. Like, I mean, look at the WNBA. That only came about, in the 90s?
Yeah.
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 And like, we're already going up against like the patriarchy and that patriarchal idea of, well, who's going to pay attention to women's sports? It's just not interesting and whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. And so we're already at that disadvantage. And then, you add in someone who has a genetic advantage over women, allowing them to play against women, then like I said, I just don't know what the right answer is, because you want to try to be fair to everybody. But, in a perfect world, but is there an answer other than to create a different, like a league of their own?
Well, I want to say it. This hypersensitivity to all this shit. You feel me? Like, no disrespect, all disrespect, respectfully. Until my community can, not have to look over and wonder if we gon' fucking live to see tomorrow. I don't give a fuck about anybody's feelings and all this shit you want to sit down and talk about, like, you get a month, I get a month. Fuck all that. Like, until our issues are met. And now, then I've also heard you could be caught up in the matrix if you're thinking that this shit is about race anyway. Like, all this shit could just be thrown just because the shit is about money and numbers and all that. So it depends on which route you want to look at it. Either way, I don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about until my people, I don't have to worry about what the fuck my grandchildren gon' feel like if they choose to do whatever the fuck, or they feel like wearing bonnets or not. Like, all these stupid ass things that are going.
Yeah. You on a roll. Yeah, your service seems to be a little spotty.
Okay, you guys go ahead. I'm gonna I guess tap out.
You said that the last thing that was comprehended was, you don't want to have to worry about your grandchildren's grandchildren worrying about doing what they want to do,
being their fucking selves. And I'm glad the law with you can wear your natural hair and all this shit, but it's just like, it's what is it? We asked for equality and they change they take off the Aunt Jemima. Like, it's just like you're giving this stupid ass crumbs and it's not addressing what's real. So I don't care about everybody crying about what they're crying about.
Yeah. Well,
no disrespect.
With those
all disrespect.
Transgender is there are Black people who are transgender. So there are. So I mean, it's like I said, it's I don't know what the right answer.
But our conversation is first thing. Our conversation been first. Like, we keep going to all these other places, but it's like, and I don't want nobody to get judged for being themselves and all this, that, and the third. But like I said, I don't got time to talk about that until my shit's straight. I'm opening up a nonprofit or I opened one, and I'm like, do I just want it for Black women or all women? If I'm in another country, like, it's fucked up if I can't get service just because I'm not this race. But it's like, we need to care home first. Mm-hmm.
You in the Matrix.
That's where I stand.
Yeah, I get.
We
missed the last part, but definitely understand. Like, and I feel like I definitely feel you that, you know, we talked about this, talking about over the last year, right? When the whole, you know, all Black Lives Matter started coming around, right? Or trans Black Lives Matter, and it's like, I understand what y'all are trying to do, but I feel as though that it's like, yo, we need to be on a uniform front.
Yeah.
Like, if you're Black, it applies to you.
Right.
Why is there separation even within the movement? You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't. It's to me, it's like saying, you know, men with locks matter, and then somebody saying, no, well, men with that wear blue contacts with locks lives matter. It's like, nigga, if you got locks, your life matters. Hilarious. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Men wearing pants matter. No. Men wearing black pants matter. Okay, it's pants. Nigga, chill. What are we talking about? What are we doing?
What I will say is men wearing gray pants, y'all matter most, okay? Men in gray sweatpants. Gray sweats, joggers preferably. Preferably joggers.
Chill.
Open it.
That is funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, the point that I'm making is just the level of consistency. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like far too often, you know, you have several groups of people that identify with certain things that are saying the same thing, but then there's like an ego, like a narcissistic thing that sets in that says, well, look at us now, look at us more. And it's just like, bro, like we're saying the same thing. Stop. You got one assignment and y'all going to do something else. What are we doing here? So, yeah. So it's the Kickback Show, the kickbackshow.com, ladies and gentlemen. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for your support and for listening. And again, the purpose of this show, you know, started to give individuals a voice and an opportunity to be seen, heard, felt, understood. And with these conversations, never in my wildest dreams did I think that this show would be a platform for this, but I'm beyond ecstatic at the fact that we are able to have these conversations that typically wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that I know that my friends and we often talk about within the confines of our homes and in our safe spaces, but to be able to bring our opinions to the forefront and put them in the mainstream. I don't expect you to agree with everything that I say or anything that any one of us says, but I do expect you to at least have an open mind, just as we have an open mind, and then go do research. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though that we speak from our own personal experiences. I like to question. I'm a skeptic with a lot of different things, and I try to get a better understanding for those things that I don't understand. So with that being said, everything that we talked about, hopefully you've gotten a laugh. Hopefully you've opened up, you know, your third eye or the two eyes that you have. And hopefully it encourages you to go do that research to get a better understanding as to, you know, a lot of the situations that we deal with in this thing that we call life, you know. So with that being said, as always, this is the Kickback Show, thekickbackshow.com. I am Foz at WaveCapJohnny on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter.
You finally started a TikTok?
Snapchat. Yeah.
I'm gonna go find
It's
it.
About to be lit. I'm about to
I
go
know
do
it
something.
is.
I'm trying to open up my horizons and trying to make it sexy out here in these streets.
Swivels
Coming up, I'm trying to come up with a master plan, you know what I'm saying? So we can all win, you know what I'm saying? Because There's opportunities out here. You just got to take them. You know what I'm saying?
I see it.
But
I see it.
But she is.
Oh, I am organic blackberry. Tastes like it sound like it tastes, and it looks like it looks too. God, the sun is treating me right. And she is.
She is glowing. Brandy is glowing right now.
Yeah.
Doing it.
All that chocolate.
And she is.
Anyway, I'm Tiana Savannah across the board on everything, as well as on TikTok. I'm guidance for grown folks.
Ooh.
And we gotta have a whole. We need to have a whole little episode about that, because grown folks, y'all need guidance. Like we're gonna have a whole situation on that.
Yeah, we will for sure. And
Real talk.
DJ Swivel on Twitter, Swivel on Instagram, SWIVLL.
And Swivel's gonna be having something coming too. We're all working on it.
Oh my gosh,
Amen.
I'm so excited. From our table to yours, take this table, take it to your table. Y'all gonna look fly too, coming with the shit we be saying. If you don't know what I'm saying, take our table talk to y'all table talk. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
That part,
exactly.
it's all the way worth it. And at the Kickback Show on everything, holla at us, hit us up, all of that good stuff and things. You feel me? Until next time, we love y'all. Peace.
Deuces.
Don't miss a beat. Kick that beat. Follow us on social media at The Kickback Show. Kickback on everything.